Hey, we're live on Winning Roles with Brian. The winning roles today is focused winner. Focused winner. Okay, so I want you. So focus is what creates your results. What determines where you end up in life? What determines how much money you have? What determines what kind of relationships you enjoy in your life? It's all your focus. What do you focus on? If you sit in a dark room and watch TV for 14 hours a day, and and do some job where you're on your computer in a little cubby hole, what your focus is all on, certain things that aren't necessarily going to lead to your happiness. So there's three components that are crucial for focus. Number one is preparation, number two is discipline, and number three is attention. So write those three things down. That's preparation, and then discipline, PDA, preparation, discipline, and attention. So write those three things down. Actually, those three things will lead to focus, and focus is what we're talking about, because focus is what determines your results. Focus is what determines what kind of, if you make money in real estate or not. How much focus did you put on calling sellers? How many hours, and that's the other thing. So preparation starts with preparation. What do you focus on during the day? It's what's on your schedule. So really, when I'm talking about preparation, I'm talking about scheduling. So if you are operating completely without a schedule and you just go through your days kind of just, having your focus pulled by whatever comes down the pike, that's not good preparation, because you're just going to be distracted all day. So I want you to be focused on making money and being happy and living a great life. And so obviously part of your focus is going to be on real estate. How much? Just 5 hours a week or 4 hours a week. Literally, you could do this business in 2 or 3 hours a week, depending on how well you're automated. It's not that hard to make money in this business. Good morning, Charles. Good to see you, sir. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. And so what are we going to focus on this weekend? Well, probably 4th of July. So yes, one thing we want to focus on is enjoying our country and feeling, enjoying 250 years of America and everything that you love about this country. And don't focus on the things that you don't love about this country. Okay, so let's have a great. So some of your focus is on being proud of being American, and also, but some of your focus now, it may be tough to get people on the phone, but you might be surprised. Sometimes on a holiday, everybody's around and picking up the phone. So it's up to you whether you want to do calls tomorrow, but or Sunday. But again, if your focus is on a regular basis, if your preparation is that you're scheduling yourself for 4 or 5 hours of real estate, and then part two is discipline, because then you have to stick to the schedule. Just because you write some schedule out on Sunday night doesn't mean you're going to do it. Okay, and that's where the discipline component comes in. That's where you have to, if you want to live a good focused life and get great results, you have to put the right things into your schedule that are going to lead to good results. And then you have to discipline yourself to actually do those things. So time discipline, focus, and then three is attention. Once you have disciplined yourself, once you've prepared, put it into your calendar. Now it's time. It's 2 o'clock on your calendar. So you've done your preparation. You know what you should be doing. Then the discipline kicks in so that you do it at 2 o'clock. So at 2:01, you're doing it. And that's where the attention comes in. Maintain your attention on that. So if you're supposed to be making calls for an hour, don't let yourself get all distracted and start watching videos on YouTube. Keep your attention where it's supposed to be. So use those three things, PDA, to have great focus. Okay, so preparation, meaning scheduling, telling yourself what you're supposed to focus on at what times. Two is discipline. When that time comes up, you do it. You don't mess around. You don't question. You don't, well, maybe I could do it later or any of that. You exert self-discipline and you do it. And then number three, you keep your attention on that thing. You don't let during that hour on your calendar, on your schedule, when you're supposed to be doing this, you don't start getting distracted and playing solitaire or anything like that. So again, PDA, preparation, meaning scheduling, discipline, meaning when that action item comes up on your schedule, you do it, you discipline yourself to do it. And then 3, keep your attention on it while you're doing it. Okay, so those are the 3 keys to having great focus. Those are the keys to having great focus on your real estate. Let's look at real estate. Do you have 4 or 5 hours or more scheduled on a schedule where you know that those hours every week you're doing real estate investing? You're halfway home if you got that. That's really so huge. So that's your preparation. But then, of course, you got to exert that discipline. When that time comes up on your schedule, you can't go playing with the kids in the backyard. You got to be focused in your office and making those calls. All right. So Charles, hello. And Doris, new month, long weekend. Yes. What do we always talk about? Fresh Start Friday. At the beginning of a month, we always talk about a fresh start. So how many deals are you going to do this July? And 1 at least. Okay. If you do 1 deal, that'd be fantastic. Put another rent to own property in your portfolio. That would be fantastic. So yes, it's a fresh start because it's a new month. So let's have a great month and let's kick it off. Maybe we can kick it off this weekend. Maybe you can get a hold of some people. Survive the heat wave. Yes, that's definitely something that you got to do. Set an alarm to interrupt procrastination. You know what? Here's something I do. That's a very good point, because I do that all the time on my watch, guys. I just say stopwatch. Okay, so I say stopwatch, and then it comes up, see, and then the stopwatch is there, and I keep track of different things I'm doing. I have 14 hours and 14 minutes on this one project this week that I'm tracking. So that's, it's a good way to monitor your real estate. Just keep a stopwatch running. So every time you sit down to do real estate, turn your stopwatch on. Okay, so you're getting credit for that time. Then when you're done, when you get up from your desk and walk away, turn your stopwatch off. Then during the whole week, watch your stopwatch. How many hours at the end of the week? Between 4 and 5 hours would be good. And as long as you're keeping your attention on that thing, a stopwatch is a very good method for making sure that you're devoting enough focus to any given task. So you can run stopwatches on all different projects, but absolutely your real estate is a good thing to run a stopwatch on to make sure to monitor how much time you're really putting in. Sometimes you think you're putting in more than you are and you're only putting in an hour and a half, and you think, oh, I put in 4 hours this week. But if you got the stopwatch, then and you can track how much time you're putting in. Two tenants in 2 units. August 1st, that's the goal. Two tenants and 2 units. That would be a great goal for the month. Renters, yes, 2 renters. That would be awesome. Okay, so guys, let's get out there. Let's do some deals. You can make some calls today, of course. It's not 4th of July yet. And obviously people are mostly, well, it's up to you whether you want to call during the day tomorrow, because yes, people are celebrating. But you could always call today and get a hold of some people. Run your stopwatch and devote focus. Remember, focus takes 3 things: preparation, discipline, and attention. Use all 3 of those things to have great focus. I have great focus. 3 times on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I have great focus. I have great focus. I have great focus. Yes. Okay, remember, you can do different gestures. Our trigger trios, we have a trigger affirmation, a trigger gesture, and a trigger image. So what image do you think of when you think of focus? Who do you think of? Who's your role model for focus? I always think of that movie Raging Bull, of how Robert De Niro really focused on playing that role, and even gained and lost 60 pounds to play that role. Amazing. A lot of focus it took to do that. So sometimes I think of the focus there, but think of focus, focus. You can have any gesture you want. This isn't bad. Focus. Okay, so you can think of all different things, all different affirmations, anything that helps you focus. Okay, 3 deep breaths. We always do our deep breathing because it's invigorating. I don't have time to exercise and stretch with you, but the least we can do is deep breathing, because deep breathing is very good for you and it energizes you. One more. Hold it a little bit, and then just don't forget to do it during the day, because then you're using the quality. Okay, so yes, I really like the idea. of alarm, stopwatch, all that great comments today, guys. So again, today is all about focus. So let's focus up today and have an incredible weekend, an incredible summer, and do lots of deals this summer with our great focus. All right, so I'll see you guys on Monday. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf Couple, and taking action with awesome focus.